What's up, guys? I'm posting to YouTube I'm on YouTube. I'm posting to Instagram. Hold on, caught me off. Link to YouTube in bio. Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Happy Monday. It's Monday, right? The only way I know what day it is because of these lives. And my husband will tell me, like, you have a live tonight. And I'm like, oh, yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me.
Right.
Welcome. If you are new to my channel, I am a reseller. Thank you for joining. I have a Monday weekly accountability call. It's kind of like a staff meeting because we don't have staff, right? Like we don't have coworkers, and this can be kind of isolating and lonely. So I like to bounce ideas off of other people, and I think it's helpful just to talk and communicate. It started when COVID happened, just because we couldn't get out at all. And COVID's still going on, but I've kept it going because I really like the talking with other people. So we'll let some people hop on. We'll see. I know a lot of people have given up social media for a day, for a week, for whatever it is. We'll see how busy we get today. It is what it is. That's the world that we're in right now. And I totally respect and understand people who have done that. So today we talk about our accountability. It is open to anybody who would like to join. You just send me a DM and I send you the link to join. You're welcome to join on the video or in the chat as well. And we talk about our successes for the week and then talk about what we are going to do for the week ahead, and all of the things in between that come up in between that. So Drama-Free Mama is here. Christine, welcome. She was supposed to come on last week and was sick. So I'm glad that she is feeling better and is able to join today. Lovely Lotus is here. Grumpy Thrifters, what's up, Duncan? So I will let you, while we let people filter in, this is also a great space for shameless self-promotion. Use my channel to self-promote yourself. It is a lot of work to have a YouTube channel. And if you don't want to put the time and effort into it, use my channel. And I don't have a ton of followers, but it's a new following. So shamelessly self-promote yourself, Drama-Free Mama. I'm going to keep saying that. I kind of just like it. Christine, I will let you introduce yourself and the shameless self-production that you would like. Those people in the comments, definitely feel free to drop your closet, your eBay stores, your PoshMark closets, your YouTube channels, your sales that you're having, whatever shameless self-promotion that you would like to have on. Let me respond to Duncan really quick. So Duncan is amazing. He does an eBay group and has an eBay book PDF too. So if you want to learn eBay, he is absolutely one of the main reasons that my eBay store has picked up. So definitely follow him or chat with him here, and you can get connected with him on that if you want to get your eBay up and running. But he said I pinked my hair again, and that I did. It is. I'm grateful that I used to be a hairdresser. And it's nice. Like everyone's freaking out in COVID. And I was like, oh, business as usual for me. I just get to keep it. But it washes out like every week. So if I don't keep up on it, then I have to. So I did do it yesterday. So Christine, shamelessly self-promote. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you are a part-time reseller. Tell us a little bit about what you do. We're talking a little bit about the family and stuff. So whatever you would like to share with us as people are joining.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for having me on. I was a little sick last week, nothing too serious, thank goodness. So I didn't really get a lot done last week, but I want to tell you a little bit about myself. About 12 years ago, I started reselling just consignment. And it was through personal contacts. All of my goods, it was toys. I sell mainly toys on eBay, even today, with Toy Go Round Inc. But I would just get a lot of families that would have birthday parties and would get 2 and 3 of the same things, brand new items. And they would say, Christine, just take these from me. And so I had an avenue. I built a website and started selling. That was 12 years ago. I did that for a couple of years. And it just kind of got out of control, and I had some life changes, so I stopped until this year. This year, I found myself working 2 jobs. I work a full 40-hour-a-day job during the week, 8 to 4, and then I was working a part-time job on the weekends, trying to just make some extra money as a single parent. I found working 7 days a week, 8 hours a day was just not what I wanted to do. my family life was suffering, my health was being compromised, and it was just time for me to find something else. So a friend of mine suggested, hey, Christine, why don't you go back to reselling? And I hadn't even thought about that. It was something I loved so much years ago. And I just didn't even think. I live in a 2-bedroom townhouse. I thought to myself, I don't have a big garage anymore. Where am I going to put the inventory? What am I going to do? Well, I actually made it work. I sectioned off part of my bedroom. I have a pretty large bedroom. I sectioned off part of my bedroom, and that's where I put all my inventory in. I started with just a few items. And
You
I
still do toys, or are you doing other things now?
Well, I started with toys because that is really my favorite thing. And you can't sell something that you don't like to sell. So
Yes,
I started selling toys and electronics. But then COVID, happened, and I found health and beauty was really selling a lot. So I went to I was lucky enough, fortunate, by the grace of God, that the thrift store that I go to remained open because he sold baby goods and items. So I was still able to source from him here locally. And
remind me where you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in South Florida.
Okay. Like how far south? Okay. I lived in Miami for like a very short period. It was like an extended vacation. It is so hot down there. I don't know how you do it. It is.
Today has been so humid. It's been crazy, but it's been raining for days now. So nothing's really happening around here at all. Yeah. But so I've been able to source still from the same person. And I, like I said, I just sectioned off a part of my bedroom and made that my inventory area, and just started selling again through eBay. I tell people all the time, they say you have to have a lot of money to get started. And you don't. I said, don't do that. In fact, I made my very first YouTube video over the weekend, and I posted that Sunday. Yes. So that was a big thing
for me. Yeah, when you post them, send them to me, and I'll. Okay. I can't always watch everybody's, but I will definitely share with my followers.
Right.
YouTube is a lot of work, so I'm definitely all about helping people get started. How
Thank
excited!
you.
I have a lot to share.
Well, I do, and this was just an introductory. This is my first YouTube video. I have a lot that I want to give you as tips. Don't do what I did as reselling, and some of the things I should have known, I think, from reselling, in the past. But I was just so excited to jump back in, and people were telling me to join things and a retail arbitrage from like major stores like Walmart. Go to the clearance item and buy all the clearance from Walmart and things like that. And I still have some of those products today. That's not what I needed to do. I needed to just
retail arbitrage never works for me. Some people do it, but I
know. I know several people that it works quite well, and they gave me Facebook groups and they gave me emails and places to sign up, but it just wasn't for me. It didn't work for me. I can say that. Maybe it does work for some people, but I spent a lot of money on things that just still haven't sold, and I'm probably going to lose money. And sometimes I do expect to like break even or lose money just in the beginning to get get people coming to my site. And that's okay. I understand.
So do you have a website? Because you mentioned a website before. Do you have a website still, or is it all just on eBay?
Well, I do still have toyGoRound.net, but I have that driving right to my eBay store right now. I have nothing on there personally. So if you go to toyGoRound.net, it takes you right to my eBay store, which is slowly growing. I think I had $18 of sales in January. And then I got up to 2,000 last month. And then this month I haven't sold anything. So it's since the stores are reopening, and I don't know if you're finding this too, but my sales are just really tanked. So I'm looking at processes that I'm doing and making some changes, hoping that's going to help out.
Yeah, I've noticed. I mean, mine have been. I mean, it's so hard because different places are like, we've been open up for about 6 weeks. And so like in May, I was like, well, things are open back up. And then I was like, oh, wait, like they're not open everywhere. So it's hard to know like if that's what it is, because it's not open everywhere. Mine have been pretty good, but I've also finally learned eBay.
Right.
Like I'm finally getting momentum on eBay. And so I think that's really helping, because if you, like, I was just doing Poshmark before. And if I solely looked at my Poshmark sales, they would have been down, if that makes sense. Right. So like overall, I'm doing better, but now I'm on 2 platforms, where if I was looking at year over year, just Poshmark, but also like I'm doing less time because I'm doing 2 platforms. So like, is that why Poshmark is down? Because I'm not spending as much time. Everyone in the comments, let us know how have your sales been? Are you guys noticing a little bit of decline? This week and this past week, I think, was kind of down, but there's a lot going on in the world right now that I don't think people are focused on that so much.
True.
Because I noticed that this weekend, I was like, it was crickets. It was bad.
Right.
So I had a couple questions. We'll get to the accountability in a little bit, but this is kind of why I like doing these too, because I think everybody has something to share. Even if you don't have 10,000 followers, it doesn't mean that you don't have lots to share. You have 12 years of experience. So you were on eBay before, and then you came back. What's changed in 12 years?
I guess, well, I don't, there's a lot more reports that you can run. You can really take a look at your statistics. I know you're a statistic person.
I know. I love eBay because of that. That's why I've stuck around so long.
Right. I really am not. I have an Excel spreadsheet. I want to get yours. But I have a simple Excel spreadsheet that I built, and it just tells me my cost of goods, how much I sold it for, did I list it, and what my return on investment is. That's pretty much it. But other than that, I really was selling mainly on my website 12 years ago, and I just dabbled a little bit in eBay. Now I'm fully eBay. I do sell on a couple other platforms, but I don't spend a lot of time on them. I really don't. Like I had a couple of heavy items, heavy toys, big pirate ship put together pretend play toys, and they weren't selling on eBay. So I threw them on Mecari, and they sold within a day.
And their shipping, I've heard, is pretty reasonable.
Yes. It was FedEx, which I had to drive down to the FedEx store, which is just right down the street from me. So that worked out really well. But I was happy to get rid of these items because I bought them because they looked so much fun. But then I started thinking to myself, wait a minute, this is going to cost a lot to ship out. There goes your cost of goods. I know
that's why I don't want to do other things, but I do shoes, purses, and clothes. And I don't want to figure out how to ship other things because even and now that I started on Poshmark, you don't have to think about any of that. You don't have to think about any of it. You put it in a box and you ship it. And now that I'm on eBay and I'm slowly learning, I'm like, oh, how am I going to ship this purse? Right. And this is going to cost me $15. I didn't think about that when I was pricing things. Right. So it's definitely a different aspect. So was it mainly auctions back then, or had they started doing some of the buy it nows and stuff?
No, I know it was buy it now as well. Okay. And I never do auctions. For some reason, I always do a fixed price, or if it's an item that I can't or I don't think is going to sell really well, and I shouldn't have bought it in the first place, then I'll do make me an offer. But on every item, I always put, please, I accept and welcome all offers anyway, even if I don't have make me an offer on the actual item description.
Oh, so then do they just send you a message?
Right.
You don't have that
instant message. Right. They just email me and say, would you mind taking this for it? And then I accept or decline. You can tell who's just trolling your site and just offering ridiculous amounts. So,
and I have, and eventually I was actually just telling my husband tonight at dinner, I have all of the things on eBay turned on: free shipping. I do sales. I do best offer. I do every single way to get people there. And I told him, he was like, you got it. Cause I was complaining about free shipping. It kills me. I don't mind for first class, I pay $3 for a top to whatever. But I sent out a pair of shoes. Right. And I was like, those just cost me $14 to send out. I hate free shipping. But I was telling me, and let me know what you guys think. Duncan's big on eBay. We were chatting about this a little bit too, but let me know if you guys are on eBay, what you think about this. I think on eBay, I need to keep all of the flashy things to get people there and get it to the momentum that I want it to be at. And then slowly start taking one thing off and see how it does to my sales, right? And I think I still need to get a little bit more to where I want to be, maybe in a month or two. And then I can like take free shipping off and see how that affects things.
Right. Now, I've always had free shipping, but I did a little bit of the opposite this weekend. I was speaking with a friend of mine who said that I needed to have returns. I needed to have 30-day returns, that would help my ranking. That would help me become a top ranked seller. And I really don't want to mess with returns. I don't want returns. I post fantastic picture, every picture I can. If the box is a little dented, I put that in my description and I take a picture of that dented box. I please ask me any questions before purchasing this item. So I've only had 2 items where the buyer came back and said, I'm not really happy with this. Will you refund me? And I actually did in those 2 cases. But this weekend, I spent 3 hours yesterday going through and putting that I would take returns, 30-day returns on all my stuff. And it was an easy button.
Oh, what do you mean? You took 3 hours doing, like you put it in the listing, or you just did, because you can do a bulk edit for that.
Exactly. But I had it in every listing. So where I could go into my business policies and change that with one click, and that was easy. I actually had it in every single listing. So I had to go through and physically take that out. And the whole time I was thinking to myself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to offer return?
Well, so here, let me tell you, and Duncan is going to say this too. I had a feeling he'd chime in for this one. So a couple of things. One, eBay is going to force a return if they want to. Like if the person complains enough, they're going to force it. And I have heard, maybe Duncan can speak to this too. I've heard by the end of the year, they are going to make every seller have to do free returns because they're trying to like do more of an Amazon type of model. So to me, I'm like, well, if they're going to make me do it, I might as well anyway. But I don't do toys. I have had, and knock on wood, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get like 5 returns tomorrow. But I have had 1 return in 2 months. And I do clothes and shoes, so like fit, you would think fit would be for a lot of it. And it is completely my fault because they are a pair of men's pants and I wrote them down as women's. So that was like completely, that's what she's saying. I haven't received them back to know. But that being said, like you do free returns and I don't think people really take advantage of it so much. It's just a box that they can click and then your stuff will come up in a search. I don't think most people, and let me know you guys that sell on eBay in the comments, Duncan, if you have something to add to. I don't think most people are like actively looking to scam you and return things. So if it is something that they want to, they'll like eBay will push it on you anyway, or like the situations that you had where you allowed it anyway. So I do think that's probably a good thing to do, but it does hurt your heart, especially like I came from PoshMark where it's like 3 days, you're accepted, like leave me alone. You can't come back in 30 days and say something. Yeah. So Duncan is saying you can still force a return. I never liked free shipping. Canada domestic is $12.99.
Wow.
Can't do free shipping unless it's a big ticket item. It's the law when selling online. Returns are mandatory. PayPal also mandates that you must accept returns. So I think you can like make it a policy, but I think ultimately they're going to force you to do it anyway. So you might as well have. So I wonder how that's going to work for you. I bet you'll get a pickup in sales.
I hope so. I did have one. I believe 99% of the people out there are legitimate and are good-hearted people and want to do the right thing. But I sent out a curling wand brush that I had taken pictures of. I knew it was completely brand new. I had pictures of the bristles and everything before I sent it out, which saved me, thank goodness. And then the buyer came back and said it was damaged and there was hair all in it. And I actually tried to contact her and tried to work out something with her before I went to eBay, but I finally had to go to eBay support, which was fantastic. And they said, let us contact her. They contacted her and she dropped it within less than 12 hours. So that was good. Yes. I've heard eBay support is very helpful.
Yeah, I've had, I don't know if I've had an experience on eBay that I've had to deal with. I've had something like that happen on Etsy. And Etsy like put the smack down real quick. Like someone
Oh,
was
really?
trying to like tell me they were going to give me a bad rating if I didn't do something.
Right.
And I told Etsy and they're like, nope, like that is not okay. We emailed them and if you get anything, let us know. And then it went away. So
Right.
that is kind of the nice thing. I've had people ask like if I would sell outside like privately on Instagram or start my own store. You don't
Right.
get that kind of support.
Right.
Like then it's just up to me and having to deal with people. You don't get supported by these companies.
Exactly.
And I think too, to the point of returns. And so being an online store, we don't have, why can't I think of the word damage control? Is that the right? Like if you're a store, there's like so much % of things that are being stolen and damaged in your inventory.
Right.
Why can I not think of the word? You know what I mean? If someone knows
I
the
do
word,
know what you mean.
yeah. So if you're in a store, you have like a certain % of your store that is either going to be stolen or loss prevention, I think maybe is what they
Right.
and we don't really have that because it's mine is like I try something on and I'm like, ooh, that's real cute. I'm gonna keep that for myself. But like we don't have that. And so there is a certain thing that like I'm just kind of in my business model, you know, a certain amount are probably going to be returned. I might not be able to resell them. And that's just kind of the price of doing business. But it is hard when you're smaller and you know, like if you're selling 5 items and one of them gets returned, you're like, well, that's like a fifth of my things that I sold. Right.
Right.
All right. Well, we haven't started any of the topic at hand today because you have lots of information to share. This is usually what happens. If anybody else has anything to add about this eBay conversation, I think it's really helpful information for sure. Yes. And so Duncan's saying if the buyer simply doesn't want it, they will lie to get the return shipping paid by the seller. Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently me and Duncan are on the same wavelength because he just said as a business, you have to factor in a certain amount for your returns and theft.
Right.
You know what that word is called, Duncan. It's escaping me. So let's go to the topic at hand. Again, if you are new here, definitely make sure to leave your Instagram handles, your YouTube channels, your PoshMark closets, your eBay, anything reseller related. You know, don't drop a note for like the gym that you promote or something, but anything reseller related. Definitely shameless self-promotion. If you're watching this in the recording, you can leave those down in the comments down below as well. We are all here to support each other. We can grow and learn together. That is the purpose of this channel and definitely of this call. So it's an accountability call, kind of like a staff meeting. A staff meeting sounds so formal, and I used to always hate those when I was in corporate America, but that's kind of what it is. And now that I am not going to them, ours was every Monday at 2:00. I still remember. I realize why you did it. One, it helps you like keep accountable because you're like, crap, my boss is going to see what I've been doing this week. And you want to make sure that you're like doing things. But then like you just talk and your coworkers there and they're like, oh, you know, what do you think about this and about that? And so I think it's really good conversation. I totally get why corporate America does them or just businesses in general. So we're kind of doing that. So let's talk about everyone in the chat and then I'll talk with Christine as well about things that we've been doing this week. I know that you have been sick. So I'm not sure how much you got done. And you are also, it's your part-time gig. You're also a full-time mom, a single mom, right? So you are nothing short of busy. So if you had time to get anything done, what were you working on last week? What was your big success?
Well, I guess my biggest success was changing my inventory and really taking a look at every single listing that I had, changing it to refunds and just looking at all the specifics. Because when I started, I just bought products and listed them really quickly to get them up there. And I think now I'm trying to look at every item and just make it a little bit better. That was my big success this past
week. For all of your items? How many
for every it was about 300 items, so 300 listings. I always buy more than one item because I don't want to take the time to list one item. That's just crazy to me. So I always buy multiples.
Yes, that kind of inventory available. It's definitely worth it. You don't have to list as much. Oh, I do have a question on your inventory, but I do want to come back to that. Hold on.
Sure.
Multiples. But now I forgot what I was going to say about that. Oh, going through. Yes. Yeah, so I think it is. And that's something that I've been doing as well. I can't sit down and do them all at once because like it would just drive me insane. But I have been making it a habit, especially on eBay. I should probably do it on PoshMark too, but going through and doing 5 to 10 listings a day and making them better. And I'll go through and sort based off of what's been on there the longest and like, okay, why isn't this selling? Change my picture if I need to, or look up comps again. And I'm noticing a lot of times, well, two things with comps. So I moved all of my inventory from PoshMark to eBay. PoshMark prices, do you sell on PoshMark?
I do, but it's really just things that we have in the house. I don't source for PoshMark.
Yeah.
I actually saw something yesterday, which was great. Yay!
I think they just added toys, but previous to that,
this is all clothing.
Yeah.
This is all clothing that we have.
But I feel like on Posh, you can just grab a number out of the air and put that as your price. You don't really have to, because people make offers and it's based off of when you share. And so if you're constantly on there sharing, your item's going to go to the top. If people don't want to pay that price, they send you an offer, right? So you don't have to be as competitive in your pricing. And so I'm going through and changing. I can't do all of them at one time. That would drive me nuts. But I am going through and changing things like my titles or my photos or my pricing. And I'm also noticing as the economy is not doing great, comps on things that I looked up even just 3 months ago, the comps are lower too. And so to stay competitive and, be in that top range and if I'm like the top 3, but I'm the highest priced one, why is someone going to buy my item over another one? Right.
Right.
So I'm trying to make that a daily habit because I don't want to sit down for 3 hours like you did. Right. But I do think it is. I do either way that you do it and works for you. I do think it is definitely a great tip because things change. And if it's something you've had for a while, there's a reason that you've had it for a while. Figure out what that is. Right. Which is why I like eBay too, because you can look at like all of that stuff on eBay.
Right.
They have all that data for you. So I'm going to check in with the chat. What are your big successes for this week? I will tell you mine while I wait for you guys to pop in. I think that was a huge success, especially because you were sick and you are busy. It's very time consuming and hopefully it helps. My big successes, two things I wrote down. One, I've been working on getting an affiliate program for my dashboard. And it is no small task because I had to build a website for it and I am not a website developer. Right. So I had to learn how to do that. I also have 3 kids at home. So it took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to, like a month and a half. But I finally sent out this morning, I sent out my email to all of the people who have the dashboard for the affiliate program. So that was kind of my big win. I've been, slowly chipping away at that as time allows. And I'm excited for it because people refer a lot of my dashboard sales are coming from people referring it. And I want to be able to give back to the people that are doing that, especially right now in the economy, if they can earn a couple of extra bucks simply by doing that. So it really was something I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm glad that I was able to do that. And then last week, if you guys joined me last week, Victoria from Adventures in Reselling, I think is her Instagram or her YouTube channel. I can't keep all the words right. But she joined me last week and she is organized. She had like a little chart and like, this is my daily task and this is what I do. And so she inspired me that night. I actually sat down and this is what mine looks like. Not nearly as pretty as what hers was, but it did help me get more done, I think. And it also helped me, feel less stressed because like before I go to bed, a lot of times I'm like thinking all the things I want to do. And then I'm like writing them down on my phone and like a note card here. And then I would get a couple minutes and the kids would be playing and I'd be like, oh, let me look at my nice list. What do I have time to do? So it definitely helps. I want to eventually make it like a nice, pretty infographic kind of thing where I can just update it every day and it's easier, or every week, and it's easier to, do that. But it did help. So if you guys are kind of all over the place, like I am, it does help. If you have, or if you guys have suggestions as well, of ways that you do it, I've just been writing it down. I was kind of looking for one to purchase online because I'm all about supporting other people too. But in my quick, like 3-minute search, I didn't really find anything that I wanted. So if you have, a little content thing that you share or that you created, let me know and we'll have to chat. Lovely Lotus, she was on a couple of weeks ago. She is trying to get all of her stuff cross-listed. So she is almost halfway done with inventory and cross-listing my 1,000 items to multiple platforms. Oh, girl. Lotus, let us know how that's going. Are you noticing an increase in sales in being on multiple platforms? You can get more time if you don't sleep. That's true, Duncan. But then the next day I'm tired and cranky and no one wants to be around me.
Right.
So you're on multiple platforms, right? How many are you on?
Me, I'm on Etsy, but that's just, I don't really maintain that. I have been for several years, and that's just digital media that I've posted that people pay. And a couple of times a month, I just get an email saying you have money deposited in your account. And it's fantastic as long as I keep my PDFs up and things like that. They're just like birthday cards that I've created, and people will contact me then and ask me to change a name or RSVP information. Or I have birthday party, like pin the poof on the poodle PDFs that people download all the time. And that takes care of that. I'm on PoshMark, but again, that's just my daughter's clothing mainly, and clothing that people give to us, and we list that. I really don't know a lot about PoshMark. I just occasionally get a sale, so I haven't spent time on that. And then I just signed up last week for Mecari just to sell a couple of items. So I'm not familiar with how that platform works. I really just sell on eBay right now is my biggest.
Yeah, and that's JEMA. This is kind of where I'm at right now, is wondering when is too many platforms to be on. I had multiple platforms years ago, but you need to watch your costs and your time. So I was a couple months ago, I was mostly on PoshMark, a little bit on eBay, and I was like, I'm going to go on like 15 platforms and do on all the places. But then what I found is I wasn't doing any of them well, right? Like each one of them has like little, like PoshMark, you have to list a little bit differently than eBay, and I'm not on Mecari yet. But they're all different. And then if I'm on 5 platforms, that means I have less time, and then I'm not doing any of them well. So I've kind of honed in to PoshMark and eBay. I have the dashboard is on Etsy, and then vintage on Etsy just sits there. Like if it sells, I'm like, hooray, I made an extra $50. I don't, but it sells full price, which is why I like Etsy. Like someone will get on there and be like, yep, I like that. International shipping. I don't really do anything on Etsy, but I'm wondering, so if you sell on multiple platforms, let us know your guys' thoughts. I know there's Lovely Lotus. I'm getting sales on most platforms now, but haven't listed new inventory, just cross-listing from eBay. Can't wait to be done to list new inventory I've sourced. So I'm wondering what I think everybody has a different right answer, right? Like one works, some works for some and some doesn't work for others. I think if you don't have a ton of sourcing options or sourcing time, like if you're limited in inventory, then getting it on all the platforms will probably be helpful. But if you have lots of inventory and you can keep sourcing and keep going with it, then you may not need to like squeeze as much out of that little inventory, right?
Right. I source 2 days a week. I have a special event that I go to on Thursday nights where the owner of the company will invite 20 of his top purchasing people. He knows we're resellers, but he invites the 20 top people in. You pay $20 and you get the first pick of all the inventory. So that's my Thursday night
store.
Yes. And he has pallets.
Like a private thrift store.
Yes, like a liquidator, wholesale liquidator. And he restocks usually every Friday and Saturday morning. And then Thursday night he restocks just for that special event. So then
legit.
It's nice. So I pay that and get great, I probably buy like 30 items on Thursday, and then I go back in on Saturday and buy more, because as soon as I list every Saturday afternoon, that's kind of my schedule, is I source Thursdays and Saturdays. I list Saturday afternoons. I ship Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or Saturday mornings. And then the rest is family time and
Job.
and my other men, right, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. I'm at my other job. So
Yeah. And your kids are a bit older though, right?
Right.
So.
The one that lives with me is 14, and she actually enjoys selling with me and has, I wrote a standard operating procedure. I wrote down how to do everything so she can go in and she ships most of my items for me these days.
That's glorious. I was just talking to somebody on Instagram today. I can't remember who it was. But I was talking to them how I can't wait until my daughter, she's 5. I have a 14-year-old who has no interest in it. I tried to get him to do like some Poshmark stuff, and he was like, this is awful. Like, you can't pay me enough to do this. He has no interest. My 5-year-old and even my 3-year-old, but my 3-year-old's kind of that age where they want to help with everything. So I don't know how long that'll last for myself. But my 5-year-old, she's like, I'll help with shoes. Like, I'll clean your shoes for you. I'll take pictures for you. Nice. She can't, like, I still have to supervise, but I'm like, if she keeps up with this and I train her, but she also understands the value of money, and has quickly learned that 50 cents does not buy her anything. So she is going to definitely charge me, a pretty piece. She is convinced that she is going to be on Kids Baking Championship.
Oh, nice.
And she's 5. You can't be on until you're 9. Right. But she has already has a list of what she is spending her $15,000 on. She's like, well, just add that to my list when I win my $15,000, Mom. I'll buy this. Okay. You have to get there first. Yeah. But she's definitely very money savvy. But I'm down. I mean, I'll pay her to help me if she's going to do it. So it's nice that you have help in that. Will she go sourcing and stuff with you? Does she know how?
She loves to go sourcing, and she's fantastic about talking me out of buying things or keeping my limit down. When I'm on my 3rd IKEA bag of products that I've sourced, because the thrift store I go to uses IKEA bags to get all your things in. She's like, Mom, hey, you need to slow down. But she doesn't want me to pay her. She wants to go through and whatever I've sourced, she wants to take a look at first and see if it's anything she wants. Like I've got some makeup mirrors recently, and she's like, oh, can I have one of these? And of course, if she's helping me do the shipping I feel
like that's a fair.
Like definitely.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have a great kid on your hands. So good job.
I do. But I also have to say something that I heard on another YouTube call recently, and I wish I had heard this before the situation happened. But a couple of months ago, even though she's all in and she wants to help me and she goes sourcing with me, at 14, we have a great relationship. We're very close. And she got to a point where she was saying, Mom, this is all you're doing. Come on. I don't want to hear about it all the time. So we had to sit down and have a talk. And I said, but I thought you were all in on this. And she goes, I am, but I still want to have game nights. I still want to, do these other things and talk about school, or, school has ended now. But at the time she was like, I need some attention too. So it's definitely a conversation you have to have when you're reselling. Make sure that your family or your significant others or whoever is in with you 100%, and they feel the same way that you do. It was just a conversation we had to have. And then once we had the conversation, then she jumped in 150%.
So 2 things added that I'm hearing out of this. One is like amazing for her to be able to bring you that conversation. That's a hard thing for a 14-year-old to do. And that she felt, again, kudos to you, because she felt comfortable enough to be able to have that conversation with you. So you're definitely doing something right. Big old pat on your back. And also, I think you have a very valuable valid point there, that as resellers, we definitely, I can't clump us together. I hear often, and I am definitely part of this group too, that you just want, it consumes you, right? Like it's all that you want to do all the time. And you're like, one more package, one more share, one more listing, one more, because it's almost like it is addictive, right? Like it is. And you can't, it's nice because it's not a 9 to 5. So you can do it. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I can do it on my own hours. But then it's like, that's all, like on the back of my mind, that's like all that I want to do. And I have to constantly pull myself away from it and be like, okay, I did this to stay home with my children. and I'm not seeing them. So like, how helpful is that? But if you have a spouse too, then it gets kind of like whenever my husband says that, I get very defensive, and so it's definitely ongoing conversations that I think and expectations that you have to set with your loved ones to figure out how to make it work. And something different is for everybody for sure, but that's definitely something that you have to have work. It is time consuming. That is something that I've worked on a lot this week. This month. I'm doing a mentorship with Chris from A Daily Refinement. He is mentoring me. And when I say that, it sounds like I'm mentoring him. That's not the case. He's mentoring me. But I mean, a lot of his principles and a lot of things that he talks about on his channels is, doing more with less, not doing more with more. Because that's what I was doing. Like I can sell more items, but then I have to spend more time. And so finding ways to become more efficient or finding ways to, hire a VA. It's okay to pay someone else to do this. Figuring out what to do. And that's actually really helped. Last month, I had my best month ever and I worked the least amount of hours.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. I'm not a pro by any means, but finding those ways and I'm taking Sundays off. I'm spending, and it's kind of nice, like enjoying time with my family. But it's hard when you work from home because it's like always there, right?
Right.
If you guys have any comments on this in the chat, let us know if you found ways that help you figure it out. I know some people have their own workspace, which I think sometimes helps. Like your workspace is in your bedroom because you have a small, apartment. So that might, I know Chris is like, you have to, have somewhere outside of the house. And I'm like, well, but like I work in the house for a reason. Like, if I was going to leave the house to work, I'd go to corporate America and make my old salary. Like,
right.
That's way easier. And I could leave at 9 or at 5. Great point. See, this is why I like having these. That's not anything that I was going to bring up today, but it's a great point. So let's talk. We're at 6:40. Your inventory. I did want to ask about your inventory. So you said you have that, you source all from thrift stores? You have that Thursday night thing that you do. But then you mentioned that you get like multiple items. So do your thrift stores have like multiple items to purchase?
Right.
Where do they?
He's bringing in pallets from different sources. He's bringing in truckloads and truckloads of different pallets. So it can be different. Like a couple of months ago, it was all like Target things that I was not interested in. In the beginning, when I started going months and months ago, it was all sourcing from China. It was truckloads of products from China. But then, as you know, he hasn't been able to source products like that. So now I don't know. He won't tell me where he's getting his products from now. But there'll be, for example, I got a couple of purses. I got like 6 different gaming headsets. Week before last, I didn't source last week at all because I didn't feel well and I just didn't feel like it was right for me to go out. But I am looking into, in fact, today I was looking into companies that actually will send me a crate of items. I don't want a pallet of items, but a case or something like that to my house. And I started looking into that today just as another source and trying to lower my cost of goods. Right now, every item that I buy is $6. So I just want to lower it more than that. I'm making a good profit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on what you're selling it for, because I think and I don't know your business model, but just in general, when I talk to people, I'm going to speak to this. I think as resellers, most of us are looking for a good deal, and we love the bins because it's like $1.49. But if you're doing this as a business, it's about how much money you're making. And if you're spending $6, but you can get items that are selling for $50. If you're lowering it by $2, I mean, it's $2 out of $50. Like it's not, I mean, it's always good to keep an eye on it. But I think if you're smart about it, you can pay up a little bit, especially if you've been doing it for a while. So, things are going to move. If you're someone that's new and you're not sure what's going to move, a lower cost of goods. Cause then if it doesn't sell, you're out $2, right?
Right.
But once you get good at it and you know what you're doing, I don't know. I have a higher cost of goods normally too. I'll pay $15, $20 for a purse if it's going to sell for $100. Like,
Oh,
I
right.
have no
Of course.
problem with that. But I mean, lower is better. I just don't always know that. I've looked into like pallets and crates and stuff too. And then I just did if you guys didn't watch my mystery reseller,
I saw
yeah, I won't do that. But it was lesson learned, and there's a reason that I haven't done it in the past. But that's kind of what scares me about buying the crates and pallets is you don't really know it. You know, you don't know what you're getting.
right. Right.
And it kind of seems like with this thrift store that you have, that's kind of what you get access to without having to do the upfront cost, right? Like
exactly. Like I can go in and for just as an example, I went in and they had race cars, rally race cars that drive up the wall. And I bought, I think like 10 of them, listed them on Saturday. And by Sunday night, they were sold out. So, and I have the time when I do my special events to actually look up and see what's selling on eBay. I don't always have that time. I usually just grab things that I think will sell and put them off to the side. And then I go back and do a little bit of research and I end up putting some items back definitely. But there are some items I know are going to sell right away and I'm going to be able to get $60, $50, $60 for them. And so I'm just going to grab those and walk out as quickly as I can.
Yeah, I definitely do that too because I'm limited on time, so I don't always.
Right.
Although now our thrift stores, you can't take items back now, which sucks.
Oh, really?
Because they don't want, like with all the COVID, they have so many requirements to be back open. But there was many times that I'd like run in quickly in like 20 minutes and just grab all the things. I'm like, I'll look up things when I get home and take half of it back. And now I'm like, well, crap. I have to like make sure, and I have to like, you know, actually look at the items and make sure there's not holes. And because half the time I'd get home and be like, oh, well, that had a hole. I guess I'll take it back. Liquidation King LA is saying once you get, I'm assuming case lot delivered to your home, you'll never go back. Where do you get them? It seems so scary to me. And I'm actually, Elder Joe's here. If I don't know if she's actively listening or just kind of in the background. But she recently did a video on doing a pallet. And I like how candid she was about it. It's very scary. It's a ton of inventory. If you do a pallet, crates are going to be less. But it's a ton of inventory. You're sorting through all of it. It's not necessarily all good. I think maybe there's a spotlight on it that I don't know. It seems very scary to me. So I'd like those who do that in the chat, who do the crates and liquidation, let us know. Liquidation King LA is saying to do it. So I want to know where he's getting it from. There's Denali. So if Denali wants to tell us the down low on her pallet experience that she recently did. Duncan is saying, be careful buying pallets unseen. You can get a pile of dud inventory, then you're in trouble.
Right.
It's scary. But I do think that with everything that's going on, we are having to be a bit more creative in our sourcing. Yes,
definitely.
So, all right, let's talk about our goals for the week as we're wrapping up to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody in the comments, as we talk about our goals for the week, drop a note down below and let us know what you're doing. I'd like to start kind of with your high level goal. So that can either be like, I want my business to grow to this eventually, or by the end of the month, or by the end of the year, you know, kind of a bigger goal, and then what you're going to do this week to get there.
Okay. Well, definitely I need my business to grow. And I need to get, I don't even know what number I want to get to right now, but I know that I need to do something drastic, such as run promotions, put some things on sale this week so that I can move some. I have a lot of Melissa and Doug toys that are expensive toys. And I think that if I put a sale on those, they'll move and I'll still be able to make some good profit on them. So that's my main focus, is to drive my sales right now. However, you know, whatever is the best way to do that. And then I also want to, I've started creating another YouTube video. So I want to get that done this week as well. And I post at least once a week for right now that I've just started. So
it's very daunting. If I can help you in any way there, I am not a pro by any means,
thank you.
but it is very daunting. And it's just so much time and energy with very little payback until you, even now, I don't feel like I'm getting that much. Like I look at others, like I only have 1,000 followers and, not very many views. It's a lot of work. So I'm definitely here to help support that how I can.
Thank you.
Denali says, I'd put the toys on Poshmark now that toys are allowed. They're allowed there now, right?
Oh.
I did hear, you'd have to look. I did hear that they recently added a bunch of stuff to Poshmark. And so definitely check that out, especially if it's new. People are probably actively searching. I'm going to tell you this and take it with a grain of salt. I am not a pro on eBay. I will tell you how I increase my sales. So I was on eBay for 6 months. Business as usual. I didn't want to do free shipping. I was worried about my profits. I didn't want to really lose money. I wanted to make profits. I was making my best month. I sold 14 items, which for some people that's good, but compared to Poshmark, I was selling like 80 items, right? Like that's not like, I know I can sell more items. And I have a large store and stuff. So this past month, it was scary and it was awful. And I had tears in my eyes while I was doing some of it. There was quite a few items that I lost profit on. I went through and items that were old. I went down and did free shipping on everything. I did trending on everything. I did sales on all best offer, all of the things that you could do. And then I probably liquidated, I guess you would say, like 100 out of my 600 items where I was selling them for $5.99 with free shipping. So I was making no money on them just to get sales. And it was a month. And by the end of the month, I was starting to get sales on other items. And now I'm a month and a half into it and none of those items are really selling. Every item that I'm selling is selling right around the profit that I was thinking I would do. And I still have a lot of the sales and stuff on. I'll slowly start to work off of that. But I basically had to give items away for free to get sales to kind of trigger the algorithm to say, hey, the store is doing things. Now we'll give her stuff for other things. So if you have items that you've had for a while, or even like I was doing scarves. I'm like, I don't care. It's a freaking scarf. Like things around the house that you're like, I just want to get it out of here. I'll list it and, give it away for free to get sales going or lose a couple of profit, kind of take a hit in the beginning because eBay, I mean, you were on it a while ago, right? And so you probably have momentum going, but you have to get the momentum. You have to be consistent. And I think as a smaller store that's not on all the time making lots of sales, the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to people are going to say, hey, that's, I was giving Steve Madden shoes away for free essentially. Right.
Wow.
And so, I mean, there were things that I'd had for a while, but still someone can't say no to that. Right. And then you're getting a couple sales a day and you're losing profit. But now I'm almost to the point where I was. So take it with a grain of salt. Do what you think is better for business. But it definitely works for me. And it was a rough month doing it. I bitched to almost anyone who would listen as I was doing it. But now I am in a position where it's getting better. And it was only a month. So Denali is saying short-term losses for long-term gains. And that's kind of what I thought. I thought of it as marketing, kind of this is, I have to market my store. So instead of paying for advertisements, this is kind of my marketing to get people to be like, oh, and you need feedback. And so if you give stuff people for free and you ship it fast, they're going to be like, oh, this was awesome. Right.
Right.
So if there's a way that you can do anything like that, everyone in the comments, drop down what you guys are doing, what you're working on for the week. My high level goal, high level, once all of the kids are in school, I'd like to be able to replace my corporate America income with reselling, social media, whatever Sarah Styles turns into. I'd like to replace it, but that's when the kids are all in school full time. I have a 3-year-old. So he's supposed to start part-time in the fall. We'll see if that happens. But so that's in a couple of years. So what I'm working on this week to eventually get to that goal, I wrote it down. I just had to find it. I have a couple things. We'll see we'll see what I get to next week, so you guys can hold me accountable. So if you guys do not follow Thrifters Villa and Daniela. She is on YouTube. She's actually doing a live right now. So when this is over, go watch her recording. But she was telling me how easy it is to do a podcast. And like this conversation, I can take the voice and put it on a podcast. And in theory, it's not that much more work. So that is on my agenda. We'll see if that's been on my agenda for a couple of weeks, but that's on my agenda. And then I'm listing 50 items a week. I want to see if I can get it to 70 a week. But I don't, like, you have to be, so I take pictures of 50 items a week. I have a lister. So she does all the other work. Just full disclaimer, I am not doing all of that. I take pictures. But I want to see if I can get it to 70. And so I'm trying to do 70 photos a week for like multiple weeks in a row before I commit to it, and make sure that the kids allow that. Not like this was a good week where like they were playing nicely and then next week is like pure chaos. So I'm trying to do, I did 70 items last week. I'm going to try and do 70 this week. And also sourcing. Like it's hard to source that many items, especially right now, to get that many items. So I'm having to think creatively on how to get inventory. And then I am trying to up my YouTube content as well and post on YouTube more. So we'll see if I can do more videos. I'm trying to find someone to help on YouTube as well, like a VA for YouTube. It's not going so well. So if anybody knows how to use YouTube or edit video and wants to try it out for me, to get paid, but those are kind of my big things for a while. Drop your notes down below what you're doing. JEMA is saying sold on eBay for a decade. Not sure giving away is necessary unless you have a drastically changed their algorithm. Not sure. You've sold on eBay for a decade, so you have 10 years of them knowing that you're consistent. I tried 6 months. And I'm not new to reselling. I had sold on PoshMark for a year and I was selling 80 to 100 items a month. I'm not just, I have good inventory, I guess is my point. I know how SEOs work. I know, and I tried for 6 months and could not get anything to work. I started giving items away and now I'm level with PoshMark. This month I might actually do more on eBay. Right now I'm doing more on eBay than I'm doing on PoshMark.
Wow. That's great.
And I think I've heard, a lot of the big eBayers have been on for a long time. So they don't know the struggles that happen when you first get on eBay because they have 1,000 feedbacks, right? Like they already have that algorithm. And so I'm just here as a new person to eBay to say I tried other things and that really did help. So if you're willing to do that, try and see how it works. There was something else. Lovely Lotus, long-term get website up, short-term finish cross-listing and inventory. Oh, so Lotus, you're doing a website to sell things on? Be interested, like a Shopify? Is that, you have a website? Are you on, is it Shopify or?
No, my website is definitely from GoDaddy. Like I created the website, but I put in a widget, which actually is my whole eBay store on toygoaround.net. So because I've had that website for so long and I used to sell on it, I still had the name. I just wasn't using the actual hosting of anything. And I just put a widget on it. It actually shows all of my latest eBay uploads where I've listed, more often. And then it drives you right to eBay. If you were to click on the item, it would take you right to eBay. And then on my drama
through eBay, you're not having to with the back end processing.
No. And then on my Drama Free Mama, which is a blog that I've run for years, I just have a link to my eBay site.
Gotcha. What is your blog about? How do you have time for this, girl?
It's really all about time management. I have a calendar and I write down everything. Monday through Friday on my 8 to 4 job. I've worked there for 23 years. And so I don't see myself quitting that job. That's not my intention. That's not my goal. I just needed to supplement my income and I enjoy reselling. So that's why I started that. But I use an electronic catalog when I'm at work with all my meetings and everything that I do there. And then I have a paper because I like a paper calendar that I write in what I'm doing for the month, what I'm doing for the week, and I just make sure I stick to it.
Yeah, I've heard that helps. I'm trying. So far, this is what I have. To me, and I'm trying, but to me, making a list or writing something in a calendar is like one more thing it's one more thing on my list that I have to do. And I'm like, well, instead of spending 10 minutes writing a list, I could just spend 10 minutes doing something. That's kind of in my mindset, but it's helped. And anytime that you like talk to people who are productive and like have their shit together, they're like, I make a list, I schedule things out. And I'm like, well, all right,
Yes.
let me give it a try, see if it works. But I still have to have, and this is a lot of moms. Well, your kids are a little bit older though. Part of my problem with lists too is like, I make a list and then the kids are like, that's not happening today. Like, I'm going to cry and scream and make sure your life is horrible today so you don't get anything done. So it has to be a list with flexibility. Like for me, that's like a week list. And like today they were good. You know, they played it well together and got so I was able to like crank a lot of things out. Tomorrow, I may not get anything done on my list because they're not having it.
Right. And I completely understand that, because even with my 14-year-old, there are days where she just comes down emotional and says, you know, I need help on something. And so you have to be flexible in anything you do. But I just find that if you don't write it down, it doesn't get done. And if I don't get something done on Saturday, then it kind of gets moved to Sunday. But I usually get everything done during my week.
I think I was still getting things done. It was just much more stressful because it was on my mind. So then I had to do it then. So then it was like 10 o'clock at night and I was like, well, no, mind. I have to. So this is helping me still get it done, but like not working as much. Right. Because if it's on my mind, then I was like, oh, I have to do it right now as I'm thinking about it. Okay. Now Duncan's talking about food. You're ahead. So you've probably had dinner already, right? We had dinner.
Yes. It's 9 o'clock here.
Yeah. Duncan's in Australia, so it's probably lunchtime for him. Pizza, burger, KFC, fried rice. We had fried rice tonight. Chocolate. What else? Oh, that sounds amazing. I am going. Oh, we're right at 7 o'clock. So I am going to leave it at that. This was a great conversation. Lots of really good information came up. Before I sign off, I do want to give people a chance one more time for shameless self-promotion. Leave all your handles. Even if you left it before, leave them again. If you're watching this in the recording, I think I changed it to where you can see the live comments, but let me know. Because I'm still learning YouTube. So if there's something that you guys want to see or you're like, how come this doesn't happen? You have to ask me because I'm still learning like how to align everything and make it all work. And I'm not a huge YouTube user, so I don't know all the capabilities of things that YouTube can do. So if you're watching this in the recording, shameless self-promotion, leave all your stuff down below. If you're having a sale or have a YouTube channel or whatever it is, leave it down below in the comments as well. And I'm going to give you one more time for shameless self-promotion because you didn't do a good job the first time. As we were chatting, more things started to come out. You have a blog, you have a website, so give us the rundown, everything that you have. When this is over, if you want to come back and put your links to all of the things in the comments so people can directly link to you. Real quick before I have you do that so I don't forget. If you are watching this, make sure to subscribe, give me a like on the way out. And this is a weekly call, accountability. Anyone can join the video. All you have to do is send me a DM and I will send you a link to join the video. If you don't want to have to do your hair, you absolutely don't have to. But if you don't feel comfortable I didn't hair today. Yeah, I didn't today. That's why I like to keep it short. But if you don't feel comfortable on video, you're always welcome in the comments. But if you do want to come on video, I love chatting to new people. If you've already been on, come on again. Let's catch up and see what's going on. Send me a DM on Instagram to get the link for next Monday's call or whatever Monday you can make it. That's it. That's all my spiel. So Christine, if you want to do one last shameless self-promotion of where we can find you and what you are up to.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it. So on Twitter, PoshMark, and Instagram, it's drama-free_mama is how you can reach me. My eBay site is, my eBay store is Toy Go Round Inc. And my blog is dramafreemama.com, which you can always contact me through my site as well. So I really appreciate coming on.
Yeah. One more question. Is
Sure.
your blog like reseller related or just all mom things? Like, what is it about?
It originally started all mom things, but now that my daughter's getting older, she doesn't really want me to talk about all that stuff that's going on. So it's changing more into, hey, this is a way you can start making money, single parents out there. And this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And things like that.
That is amazing. Definitely leave that down below. And I'd assume your YouTube content will be that as well. I think that's definitely cool things that people want to hear. Well, you're always welcome to come back and share all the things with us, because I think you definitely had lots to share today. And I think we probably could have talked for a whole nother hour on other things that you're doing and how to help people as well. So I'm going to end it on that note. My husband is trying to game. He's a big gamer, so he's trying to meet people to game tonight. So I'm going to go hang with the kids while he does that.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for joining. Give me a subscribe if you like content like this. Join me next week or for the further content that I have this week as well. Give me a like if you like content like this, and leave. That's it. Have a wonderful night.
Good night.